Unexpectedly found in trash, homeless girl's amazing journey with a billionaire revealed transcending desperation. Rain drummed against the pavement, wrapping the quiet suburbs in a melancholic shroud. Maya huddled beneath the awning of a deserted shop, her stomach grumbling like a warning siren. She had long ago lost count of the days spent scavenging for scraps, for places to hide from the biting chill of neglect. Her family, consumed by their own darkness, had forgotten she existed, leaving her to grapple with the stinging rejection that tinged every thought. She was 16, but the weight of her circumstances made her feel 10 years older. As she stepped into the gutter, the smell of refuse slammed into her, and she instinctively recoiled, yet her gaze was drawn to the trash bins lining the alley. With a heavy heart, Maya approached, debating the moral implications of what lay ahead. There was a sense of desperation that clawed at her senses. Each crumpled wrapper and discarded item might hold something of sustenance. It's what she must do to survive. Why was the fear of diving into that world less daunting than the gnawing hunger that clenched at her insides? She hesitated, and in that moment, the rain poured harder, drowning out her thoughts. After rummaging through piles of refuse, she spotted something glimmering. Curious, Maya dipped her fingers into an overturned briefcase, filthy yet untouched by the elements. With a hesitant tug, she pulled it free and fumbled with the clasp, unsure if she was about to unleash another disappointment. Inside lay documents, birth certificates, letters, and an identity she didn't recognize: Alex Mercer. The name rang a bell. He was that billionaire philanthropist, the man who somehow crafted hope from wealth. As she rifled through the pages, something unexpected bloomed within her. A strange connection grew from his tales of resilience. His stories spoke of overcoming family struggles, finding his purpose in helping others. It was a vivid reminder of her own dreams, blurry but still clinging to life. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let us continue. The briefcase transformed from an object of discarded waste to a lifeline, a thread binding her to a world she longed to belong to. But as vitality began to flicker in her heart, Maya felt the remnants of deep-seated fears burgeon. A life of poverty bred a gnawing belief that she was not worthy of goodness. Would this new connection be a cruel tease? To grasp at dreams only to see them slip away once more led her skin to prickle with unease. Fanning those embers ignited the fires of self-doubt. Driven forth by hope, yet tethered by the chains forged by her family's rejection, she stood at a crossroads, saturated with conflicting emotions. As she ventured deeper into Alex's world, with every word she devoured, her path forked before her, pulling her toward a future she envisioned yet feared. Winning his attention could mean rescue from the abyss, but what of her estranged mother, the one who had cast her aside? What if she returned, lured by the spotlight that now flickered toward Maya? The thought both excited and terrified her, a tumult of anticipation and anguish. The internal storm raged on, churning louder with each passing moment. Tonight was crucial. The charity gala loomed, a celebration of their efforts, a pinnacle of dreams spinning anew. She could see herself up there, fueled by the love and compassion they had sowed together. But those dreams collided violently with the echoes of her past as she anticipated her mother's arrival, the son of her newfound hope shadowed by the clouds of uncertainty. On the brink of redefining her story, Maya squirmed as fear and excitement coalesced. She was poised to confront everything she had fought to escape and everything she had fought to protect. The room buzzed around her, tension coiling like a spring, and as the moment her name echoed across the hall approached, she was left wondering, was she ready to face the truth? The whispers of her past mingled with those of her future, leaving her trapped in a web of unresolved choices. The air crackled with unspoken tension, and the night hung delicately in the balance, urging Maya to decide which direction her life would take next. Maya stood at the threshold of the gala, the ornate double doors looming like an entrance to a different realm. Lights twinkled, laughter echoed, and a sweet scent of hors d'oeuvres wafted in her direction, yet nothing could drown out the drumming of her heart. Each beat echoed not only anticipation but a haunting reminder of her past struggles, a past she was on the verge of confronting in one monumental night. Emotions battled inside her, the thrill of opportunity acknowledged against the stinging taunts of self-doubt. What if no one believed in her? What if Alex Mercer, the billionaire whose life she had glimpsed through the briefcase, viewed her as just another desperate soul seeking something from him? The familiar feeling of being unseen clawed at her insides. Yet, she could not afford to retreat. This was more than a gala. It could mean a transformation, a pivotal moment diverging from a life of solitude and despair. Deep breaths steadied her demeanor as she rehearsed in her mind the very reason she felt propelled to take on this challenge. Alex's words had shifted something vital within her, an ember of resilience she desperately clutched. If his past could spiral into grandeur through struggle, why couldn't he hers? Maya resolved to push forward, caught between determination and sheer panic. She swirled around to face her reflection in a glass window, a weary girl dressed in borrowed confidence. The gown was glamorous, yet all she could see were remnants of the streets that had molded her. Did clothes erase a history? Would she ever be seen as more than a nameless girl discarded by the world? As if summoned by her thoughts, a familiar voice broke through the swirl of her ruminations. Maya. A tall figure approached, one adorned with the charisma that people only noticed when they believed they were looking at success. Dread filled her. It was Alex himself. The man whose identity had ignited her dreams stood before her with a curiosity in his eyes that felt both frightening and exhilarating. "Are you here to support us?" he inquired, seemingly genuine in his interest. The warmth radiating from him eased some of her tension, but the weight of expectations loomed larger than ever. Maya's instinct was to retreat, to hide within herself as she had done for so long. But a moment of clarity surged, a flicker of courage ignited by her determination to carve a different fate. I found something that belonged to you," she stammered, surprising herself with her own audacity. Alex raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Oh. And what is that?" The words began tumbling forth, a cascade of emotions unleashed as she spoke of the briefcase, the letters, the fragmented pieces of his life that she had clung to in her darkest moments. Each syllable added weight to her voice, transforming uncertainty into an unyielding truth. His expression shifted from curiosity to something deeper, as if Maya had unwittingly unlocked a part of him that had long been buried. "I never thought," he began, only to trail off, seemingly processing the depth of their unexpected connection. Maya felt a surge of accomplishment. She had shared her truth, and it echoed louder than the shadows that bound her. The conversation propelled her forward, threatening to dismantle the barriers she had put in place. Yet, lurking beneath the surface remained the specter of her mother, the one who had abandoned her, who might rear her head to claim another piece of Maya's fragile autonomy. As Alex's eyes locked onto hers, she felt a renewed resolve to confront not just her past, but to claim her future. This was her moment, her chance to redefine herself, all hinging upon the fragile line between strength and vulnerability. The night stretched endlessly ahead, laden with the possibility of dreams both daunting and exhilarating. But just as she lifted the veil of newfound hope, the crowd erupted into applause, a commotion heralding the arrival of a familiar figure. Her heart dropped. It was her mother, punctuating Maya's moment of courage with a jolt of fear. This confrontation loomed heavier than any gala decorum, carrying a perilous weight that threatened to unravel everything she had just begun to assemble. Standing still, Maya's future teetered on the edge, squaring her against her own identity as the figure she had spent years estranged from drew closer. It was time to face the truth she had evaded for far too long. Maya's throat tightened as her estranged mother glided through the throng of elegantly dressed guests, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. The sting of memories burned as brightly as the chandelier's glimmer above, and for a moment, Maya stood paralyzed. This was more than an unexpected encounter, it was a reckoning. Her mother emanated confidence and poise, each step imbued with self-assuredness that Maya had often envied. But under the surface of that elegance lay an unfinished narrative, one that Maya had buried beneath layers of defiance and vulnerability. What would her mother say now, after all those years of silence? What kind of noise would she bring into this moment, one that held the potential for Maya's transformation? Taking a steadying breath, Maya forced herself to move forward. Each step was a minor rebellion against the fears that clutched at her heart. "I'm not a girl you can just walk away from," she whispered in her mind, channeling the defiance she had built over the years. These thoughts fueled her courage, one that felt alien yet intoxicating. As her mother neared, her eyes widened, recognizing the daughter she'd left behind, somehow echoing the same bewilderment that Maya felt. For a fleeting moment, they stood suspended in time, one vulnerable, the other controlling, until the ambience of the gala surged around them, raising the energy in the room. "Maya," her mother finally said, voice lilting like a melody haunted by regret. The tone was soft but filled with an underlying challenge. "What are you doing here?" Caught off guard by the question, Maya felt her heart race. Was this an accusation or legit concern? "I came to find you," she replied, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. Her mother folded her arms, trying to hold her ground. "You shouldn't be at events like this. You don't belong." The dismissal sliced through the moment, and Maya recoiled. The words resonated painfully, mirroring sentiments she had battled within herself for years. Yet instead of retreating, they sparked something deeper, a realization that her mother's perception of her did not define her worth. "I'm not here for your approval," Maya declared, fueled by years of feeling unseen. "I'm here because I want to claim my life on my terms." The conviction in her voice surprised even her. Maya's gaze shifted to Alex, who observed the unfolding confrontation with a contemplative expression. His presence felt like a shield, a reminder that her journey had taken a trajectory far beyond her past. The silent support was enough to ground Maya amid the emotional chaos. "Is that what you think?" her mother challenged. "After everything, living on the streets, clinging to dreams that don't fit?" The vulnerability of the statement struck Maya hard. It was true, her reality had been painted by circumstances beyond her control, but it was not the entirety of her story. "Those dreams are my compass, guiding me toward who I am meant to be. I'm tired of being defined by how you see me, or how I once saw myself. I have the right to rewrite my own narrative." For an instant, Maya imagined her life without this confrontation, the nagging doubts and fears suddenly sharpened into clarity. She was no longer that child who felt abandoned, invisible, as if she had been one of many flickering lights, a mere afterthought. Now, standing before her, she embraced the fierce truth of her voice, embodying strength instead of shame. Her mother faltered, the defiance in her eyes wavering. "You think this is easy for me? You think it doesn't hurt? Then stop running away from it," Maya insisted, feeling unrelenting determination surge within her. This was about breaking the cycle, finding completion not in simply confronting her mother but in embracing the possibility of a truer connection. "Face the pain with me." The room around them faded into the background as if they were isolated in their own bubble of unhealed wounds and unspoken words. In this moment of raw honesty, Maya understood that this was not just a confrontation, it was a pivotal moment poised to redefine her future. With Alex witnessing her investigation into her own life, Maya felt an unyielding resolve to pursue this dialogue not just for herself, but for a future no longer dominated by old scars. Here, amidst glittering gowns and hushed whispers, she would determine her path, standing firm against anything that dared to claim ownership over her story. But just as the emotional tide began to shift, tension crackled back to life. An old fear flickered in her mother's eyes, and in a split second, the crowd's laughter faded as a new voice entered their shared space, a voice Maya had never hoped to hear again, disguised by a familiar malevolence. That voice sliced through the air, "I can't believe you brought her here, of all places." The words dripped with disdain, and as the reality of another confrontation loomed, Maya's heart sank. It was her mother's sister, the warden of past secrets. In that decisive moment, Maya felt the weight of her journey coalesce into something tangible. She was poised on the brink of not only discovering how to fight for her own identity but to defy the ghosts that had haunted her and, ultimately, confront the ghosts that loomed larger than she'd ever imagined. Maya's breath caught in her throat as she turned to face her aunt, a specter of her childhood that loomed larger than life. The initial shock melted into cold recognition. This woman, with her meticulously coiffed hair and razor-sharp glances, had been a pivotal player in the emotional schism between Maya and her mother. In that moment, her aunt became a living embodiment of every painful truth Maya had tried to navigate. "What a surprise to see you here, Maya," her aunt said, her voice slick with condescension. "I would have thought you'd know better than to show your face among us." Maya's heart raced, but she steadied herself, centering her thoughts on the journey that had brought her to this precipice. It wasn't just about her mother, it was about reclaiming her identity from every person and circumstance that had diminished her. "I'm here because I want to be," she answered defiantly, seeking the strength she had so recently summoned in front of her mother. Her aunt laughed, a sound that cut through the ambience of the room like a knife. "You're claiming a life that doesn't belong to you. Look around, this is not your milieu." The old wounds throbbed anew, but instead of retreating, Maya felt a surge of clarity. Her aunt's disdain was a mirror reflecting her own insecurities, yet she refused to be defined by them. "And whose is it, then?" Maya shot back, surprising herself. "You think power and privilege dictate worth? I've fought harder for my place in this world than you could ever imagine." The crowd buzzed around them, laughter and hushed whispers providing an ironic backdrop to the confrontation. But Maya felt an electrifying stillness envelop her, igniting a resolve within. This was no longer merely about her mother or her aunt, it was about every judgment she had internalized over the years, every expectation set upon her shoulders by people who had never really known her. "Clinging to delusions of grandeur won't help you," her aunt retorted, stepping closer, her presence as suffocating as the humidity in the air. "You're just a charity case dressed in borrowed clothes." For the first time, Maya recognized that each attack was more than an insult, it was an invitation to reject the narrative that had long been woven into her existence. Unbeknownst to her aunt, she had already begun rewriting her story. The myriad chapters of her life thus far, colored by hardship but also filled with resilience, provided a foundation she could no longer ignore. "Maybe you're right," Maya admitted, lowering her voice to keep the attention of their onlookers, "but you don't get to decide what my worth is. I'm here, in my own skin, claiming my space. I may have stumbled through shadows, but I've come into the light." With those words echoing in her mind, Maya glanced over at Alex, who wore an expression of quiet admiration. She could feel his support like a shield, reinforcing her sense of self-worth at that moment. The tension shifted as her aunt fell silent, faced with Maya's unexpected growth. Behind the bravado lay the faintest trace of uncertainty. "You think you're so strong, but this world will chew you up and spit you out," her aunt hissed, visibly shaken. "That's what you think I'm afraid of?" Maya countered, searching for inner calm. "I'm not playing your game anymore. I'm not living in fear of what you think or say. You're right about one thing, I've faced darkness, but in that darkness, I've learned to find my own light." The weighted silence that followed bore witness to their fraught connection, filled with an emotional gravity that demanded acknowledgement. As Maya battled against the remnants of doubt, she felt the dam of her past crumbling. She had stepped into a new chapter of her life forged by authenticity rather than fear. "It's time you found that it's your expectations holding you hostage, not me," she added quietly, a final denunciation of the chains of judgment that had bound her for so long. But just as the tide shifted in her favor, an icy laugh floated between them, her mother's sister's final desperate attempt for dominance. "Oh, you naive girl. We'll see how far your bravado gets you when the realities of life come crashing in." In that chilling moment, Maya sensed the weight of her journey intensifying. Here she was, defying both her mother's and her aunt's perceptions, fighting for a new identity, and yet she felt the specter of doubt clinging desperately in the shadows around her. But that darkness had been her companion, and now it was merely an invitation to face whatever awaited her next. With her newfound resistance, Maya turned to leave, intent on stepping away from the turmoil, but uncertainty still flickered within. The cracks of her past were still evident, and while she now understood the power in her voice, there were depths beneath the surface she had yet to explore. As she entered the crowd, that voice echoed in her mind: what lay beneath her resolve, and how would she confront the vulnerabilities yet to be unearthed? In choosing to fight for herself, would she be able to grasp the light, or would the shadows creep back in? Suddenly, a sharp pang of realization hit her. The true battle was only just beginning, and a pivotal choice awaited. Would she navigate another confrontation with her aunt, or choose to uncover the deeper roots of her pain in an unexpected search for truth? Maya slipped into the thrumming crowd, her heartbeat matching the rhythm around her. Each step away from her aunt felt like a small victory, yet it was bittersweet. The confrontation had been exhilarating but also draining, exposing raw nerves that she knew still needed tending. As she navigated through the chatter and laughter, she felt a growing urge to withdraw, to shield herself from the onslaught of voices that echoed her aunt's. Maya had stood strong, asserting her autonomy, but now the thin veneer of confidence began to chip away, revealing uncertainties that made her stomach twist. She needed to gain perspective. Looking around, she spotted a quiet corner, an alcove away from the revelry. It would serve as her moment of reprieve. With a soft laurel green facade blanketing the space, she nestled in, blending with the surroundings and attempting to refocus her thoughts. What did it mean to truly claim her identity? Was it simply standing up to her aunt, or did that external fight mask a deeper internal struggle? Maya leaned against the cool stone wall, feeling each heartbeat resonate within her chest. A wave of fierceness crashed over her, and she knew she had to dig deeper than surface-level confrontations. Maya closed her eyes, flipping through the memories of her childhood. Moments of isolation intertwined with fleeting glimpses of joy, laughter disrupted by the biting criticism from those who were supposed to accept her unconditionally. The question loomed: whom had she become in reaction to their disdain? She visualized herself, tabled amid her peers, sharing ideas and dreams but feeling like a ghost, barely touching the edges of their vibrant lives. Had she been so weighed down by others' expectations that she had lost sight of her own passions? Suddenly, Alex appeared in her periphery. His curious eyes met hers, filled with understanding, an unspoken pact of sorts. She felt emboldened by his presence, but to truly engage required more vulnerability than she had anticipated. Could she bear her insecurities to him? Would he still look at her with admiration, once he saw every crack and crevice in her armor? "Maya," he said softly, stepping closer. "You handled that situation brilliantly. You surprised us all." A corner of her mouth lifted in gratitude, but the warmth didn't entirely touch her heart. "I guess it felt good confronting her," she replied carefully, uncertainty creeping back. "But I can't shake this feeling that I'm not done. That I need to dig even further into my past." "What do you mean?" He folded his arms, indicating his willingness to listen. "I've fought against what others believe I am, but I've never really faced my own understanding of who I want to be," she confessed, feeling the rawness of truth escape her lips. It lay before them like an unwrapped gift, heavy with potential. "Is it about finding a way to integrate your past into who you are now?" Alex asked, tilting his head thoughtfully. Maya furrowed her brow, considering his words. "Yes, but how?" The inquiry hung in the air, heavy with urgency for an answer she had yet to unearth. "You've already made a brave choice by confronting your aunt. Maybe it's about taking that bravery a step further, exploring those roots you've left unexamined. What else beneath them could lead to another breakthrough?" His insight ignited a small flame within her, but it was accompanied by dawning trepidation. What if delving into her past unearthed more pain than she anticipated? Yet, what if it also uncovered parts of her she had buried and yearned for? An idea took shape, sharper and clearer than anything she had conceived. "I think I need to speak to my mother. Find clarity from the source," she stated, scarcely believing her boldness. "It's time to embrace that part of my history." Alex's eyes widened in surprise, but they soon softened with respect. That's intense, but brave, he affirmed. Just remember, you don't have to do it alone. I'm here. Maya realized she needed his support more than ever as she contemplated her next steps. They stood at the threshold of new, daunting possibilities. Drawn from the harsh reality of her family dynamic, she began to see a path towards a profound truth, one rich with adversity but also with promise. Her heart hammered in anticipation, the thought of unveiling her past filled her with trepidation and excitement simultaneously. What answers awaited her? What truths would she confront? Determined, she turned to Alex, the boldness within her burgeoned. Let us do this. I'll reach out to her. As Maya stepped back into the pulse of the crowd, the warmth of her decision washed over her, igniting a flicker of hope. The journey toward healing was still unfolding, and she felt herself on the brink of a revelation. Yet, in that moment, the very instability she sought to confront felt like an unknown tether pulling on her heart. What if the truth shattered the newfound strength she had fought to build? She took a deep breath. The time for discovery would arrive soon, as the reflections of who she truly was teetered on the edge of revelation. The moment of truth awaited her, and uncertainty began to twist into a focus that made her both uneasy and exhilarated. Maya's pulse quickened as she navigated through the artfully curated labyrinth of people, each interaction a mirror reflecting fragments of herself fractured, yet searching for coherence. The swirling chaos of voices began to feel muffled, her thoughts swirling around the bold step she had committed to, reaching out to her mother. Her decision, although firm, felt synonymous with standing at the precipice of a great unknown. As she stepped back into the open area, the illusion of being part of a crowd shifted. Faces around her blurred into obscurity. What awaited her was not merely a conversation, it was a confrontation with the narrative that had shaped her until now. Would her mother validate her struggles, offer compassion, or would she remain an enigma wrapped in hurtful memories? Determined to reclaim her agency, Maya's mind meandered through a complex web of emotions. Having often avoided direct contact with her mother, the prospect of dialogue ignited a fierce internal battle. Where would she begin? The patterns of blame had been so ingrained. Could clarity surface where only shadows had dwelled? It ignited pangs of anxiety, yet a deeper drive propelled her forward. She sought out Alex amidst the throng. It was a silent request for reassurance, a tether back to the ground that felt so tenuous. The connection they shared promised a semblance of security, yet the fear of vulnerability dulled her resolve. Maya shifted, conflicted. How could she fortify this newfound fire within her without exposing her tender heart? When their gazes locked, she noted the spark in his eyes. He had become an unexpected linchpin, a source of strength and understanding. She leaned into that connection, letting it tether her as she pondered her next steps. Have you thought about what you want to say? Alex prompted, positioning himself beside her. Maya nodded, feeling her throat tighten. I have, but it's hard to find the right words. I want to ask her everything, the whys and hows of my childhood. But I fear what she might say. The tremor in her voice betrayed her bravado. She was still that little girl, scared of the woman who towered over her emotions like a giant. Maybe it starts with telling her how you felt. That's your truth, and your feelings are valid, Alex encouraged, his voice steady. Maya mulled over his words, letting them settle like dust in her mind. But what if she dismisses me? What if she can't acknowledge the pain? You can't control how she reacts, he replied, his tone gentle yet firm. But you can control how you express yourself. Accepting your feelings is crucial. Even if she struggles with understanding them, your voice matters. Those simple words reverberated through her, washing away hesitations. The path before her was still shadowy, but the very act of considering her voice was transformative. Speaking to her mother wouldn't be about seeking permission to feel, it would be her declaration of existence. With each passing moment, Maya felt the dim thrum of fear receding, slowly replaced by clarity. I'm ready to confront her, she declared softly, a newfound strength weaving through her resolve. Then let us make a plan, Alex suggested, excitement simmering in his voice. It doesn't have to be today, but you should talk about it when you're ready. As they began to map out her approach to their conversation, Maya realized that each step she took was burgeoning her confidence. The act of preparation granted her a sense of control over the uncontrollable. She glanced at Alex, gratitude swelling in her chest. Despite her uncertainty, she felt this deep-rooted belief that he would stand by her. But the looming question remained, would her mother actually hear her? In seeking answers from the past, would Maya unearth further pain or begin to build the pillar of her true self? As the crowd continued to ebb and flow around them, she knew she was on the verge of facing the most substantial challenge of her journey. With her heart racing, she looked up at Alex. "Let us do this together." And so, with the heart of a warrior and the spirit of a seeker, she prepared to unearth not just her past but lay claim to her future. Yet, lurking beneath her brave resolve, the specter of those unanswered questions haunted her. Could she embrace the truth once it was revealed? Only time would tell. The moment of reckoning was fast approaching, and as she took Alex's hand, determination surged through her. She felt herself teetering on the brink of both revelation and uncertainty, poised for the tumultuous unraveling of all she had hidden. Maya's heart raced as she and Alex formulated her plan. Each detail felt like a stepping stone leading her through a tangled garden of her past, with the potential to bloom into something unexpected. They settled into a quiet booth in a nearby cafe, the bustle around them fading into a comforting hum. Outside, a storm brewed, rain painting streaks against the window that mirrored the tumult within her. "Let us go over your main points. What do you want to achieve in this conversation?" Alex asked, leaning forward, his confidence a steadfast anchor. Maya stared into her coffee, the steam rising like the shards of distant memories. "I want her to understand the harm her actions caused. I need her to see me not just as her daughter, but as a person with my own experiences and pain." A sudden doubt gnawed at her. "But what if I can't articulate that? What if I lose my nerve?" "You have to remember, Maya," Alex urged, his gaze piercing through the veil of her insecurity, "this is about expressing your truth, not winning a debate. Just speaking from your heart will convey everything. The authenticity of your feelings is what matters most." She absorbed his words, the resolve deepening within her, yet a tension remained. What if vulnerability invited more rejection? The wounds were still raw, layered under the skin like time-worn scars. "It's like stepping into an arena, isn't it?" She mused, her voice low. "Bare, exposed, ready to be judged. Think of it as a chance to reclaim your narrative," he said, smirking. "You're not just laying bare your heart, you're taking back the pen. Craft your story in a way that you control." Maya sat upright, a flicker of empowerment igniting within her. "So I write my own ending? She doesn't get to dictate how this goes?" "Exactly." The joy in Alex's voice brought warmth to her chest. "The moment you speak your truth is the moment you become the author of your life." The idea felt revolutionary, like a freshly opened door leading to sunlight. The imagery conjured memories of childhood, when she would spend hours writing fantastical tales in her notebook, unfettered by real-life constraints. When had she let those tales slip away? "Okay, I need to address more than just the past. I want her to understand how I've learned and grown since then. I'm not just the girl she abandoned, I'm a woman who has fought for herself." Each assertion felt like a strike against the weight of her doubt. As they crafted her words together, Maya discovered an emerging confidence, forged in the fire of her experiences. Familiar sensations of fear still hummed in the background, but they were being overshadowed by anticipation. She envisioned speaking to her mother, the old barriers between them dissolving into the ether. She took a deep breath, the air steadying her racing heart. What if I succeed in expressing everything, but she still doesn't change? The question hung heavy, saturated with apprehension. "Then that's her journey," Alex replied firmly. "Your responsibility is not to carry her burden, it's to uplift your own. Remember, you are entitled to your feelings and your path. That doesn't change just because she doesn't respond the way you want." His words swathed her in a protective cocoon, and Maya began to see the realistic distance between herself and her mother. There was empowerment in acceptance. Her journey belonged solely to her. Just then, a crack of thunder rumbled outside, startling her from deep thoughts. Maya gazed at the rain, feeling charged with both anxiety and exhilaration. The confrontation loomed closer, and the prospect of loosening the shackles of unresolved feelings danced on the edge of her consciousness. "What is your timeline?" Alex pressed. "When do you think you'll be ready?" Maya pushed back her hair and stared at him, realizing she had made a critical choice without fully grasping its weight. "I think I need to do it soon while this momentum lasts." A determined nod from Alex sent a flash of resolve through her. She marveled at the unfolding path ahead, layered with promise but also teeming with uncertainty. Would this newfound strength carry her through the impending confrontation? As she prepared to set the date in motion, another question arose in her mind: would erasing the silence of so many years reveal healing or further fragmentation? With her heart clenched and spirit invigorated, Maya whispered softly, "I need to know if the truth I seek will unite us or tear me apart." The rain continued to drum against the glass, an echo of introspection. As she pondered the fine line between revelation and rupture, a sense of urgency settled in her chest. The time for confrontation approached swiftly, and with it, the truth that could unravel everything she thought she understood about her family, her identity, and ultimately, herself. Maya found herself pacing her small apartment, the rain's relentless tapping now a distant whisper compared to the tumult in her mind. The confrontation with her mother was no longer looming, it felt immediate, a wave ready to crash. She had marked the date on her calendar, the ink a fierce reminder of her commitment to herself. As the day approached, her initial excitement began to blur into a cocktail of apprehension and doubt. Each movement felt exaggerated, her usually meticulous routines disrupted by the static of anxiety swirling around her. She had dreamed of this moment for years, yet the reality of it coiling within her was daunting. The words scribbled in her notebook sat heavy on the table, a manifesto of her inner turmoil, waiting to be spoken but paralyzed by fear. What if the encounter unraveled her instead of healing? In a bid to ground herself, Maya turned to her writing desk, opening her old notebook. The familiar smell of yellowed pages filled her nostrils, stirring memories of her childhood sanctuary. As she stared at the words she had penned, stories swirling with unfiltered imagination, she recalled the resilience inked within those tales. Once the haven of a dreamer, her notebook represented every fight she had embraced. What if writing was her way back to that girl? Instead of crafting narratives of imaginary worlds, she could weave together her truth, mixing pain with power. Taking a deep breath, she picked up a pen, allowing the ink to glide across the page, breadcrumbs leading her back to herself. She began crafting her letter, pouring her heart into carefully molded phrases, each sentence an invocation of courage. "I am not asking for your understanding, I am demanding my own recognition," she wrote, envisioning her voice ringing clear and strong. The act of writing felt cathartic, the initial stab of fear dissolving beneath the simmering power of self-assertion. With each word, she felt a liberated weight lift off her shoulders, transforming the anxiety into a force propelling her forward. Reflecting on the moments that shaped her, she recalled the strength that triumphed over despair. The late nights studying to earn her degree, each small victory lightening the burden of her past. She realized this confrontation wasn't hers alone, it was a culmination of her evolution, and her mother was merely a chapter, not the entire story. The morning dawned, casting soft light over the rain-soaked city. Maya dressed deliberately, each choice echoing the gravity of her mission. Her favorite dress, a bold red, infused her with both confidence and clarity. As she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror, she noticed not only the woman her experiences had shaped but the author of her own life standing before her. On her way to the cafe, Maya replayed what connected her past to this moment, each ripple of pain woven with newfound strength. She refused to step into the conversation with hopes of changing her mother. Instead, she would assert her narrative and embrace the possibility of resolution, perhaps not the kind she envisioned, but one that honored her journey. With each step, The ground felt steadier beneath her as if the universe was aligning with her resolve. The coffee shop loomed ahead, a beacon glimmering amidst the overcast sky, a symbol of her readiness to confront her past. As she pushed open the door, the warm aroma enveloped her, but the moment was stifled by apprehension. Heart racing, Maya approached the table where her mother sat with an air of indifference, her posture rigid and remote. The sight struck a discordant note within her. This woman carrying the weight of their history was still here, unyielding yet familiar. Maya's breath hitched as she met her mother's gaze. It was time to step into her truth, yet what awaited her response? The answer could fracture or mend. "Mom," she began, voice steady but heart racing, "we need to talk." In that instant, the world outside faded, leaving just the two of them entwined in a moment that could redefine everything. Would the confrontation bridge the gap, or would it unveil deeper fractures? The uncertainty coursed through her, propelling Maya into the unfolding truth. Maya's heart thudded loudly in her chest as she uttered those words. The air between them thickened, charged with years of unresolved tension. Her mother blinked, the briefest moment of surprise flickering across her face before it settled into a carefully maintained mask of indifference. The initial jolt of courage gave way to a creeping doubt. Was she strong enough to carry this through? With the table between them, it felt as though an invisible wall stood guard around her mother's heart. Maya's thoughts darted back to the letter she had painstakingly crafted, the words meant to incite understanding and connection now swirling ambiguously in her mind. Could they pierce through that wall, or would they bounce off like raindrops on pavement? Why now? Her mother's voice was clipped, almost offensive, cutting through Maya's swirling thoughts like a knife. "You've never wanted to talk before." Maya winced but didn't retreat. "Because I do want to talk. Because I need to talk about us. About me." The tremor in her voice surprised her. She was venturing into uncharted territory, the stakes heightened. This was no longer just a conversation, it was an account of her existence. Her mother leaned back, arms crossed, the posture radiating a mixture of disbelief and contempt. "We live our lives just fine without all this, whatever this is." A flicker of anger ignited within Maya. The past year had been a crucible of growth, and she refused to let the old narrative trap her. "I don't live just fine, Mom. I'm tired of pretending," she stated, focusing on her breath to suppress the whirlwind of emotions churning within her. Each word felt like stepping stones toward confidence. A derisive laugh escaped her mother's lips. "You think you're the only one who has struggled? You've had everything handed to you." For a moment, Maya felt as if the floor had dropped beneath her. How could her mother never see the struggle? The countless hours in the library, the loneliness of late nights spent fighting imposter syndrome, the need to carve out her own identity in the shadow of expectations. "That's not how it was. You don't see me," she accused, the vulnerability bleeding into her tone. The air between them thickened with every exchange, a battle of wills that had the potential to unravel old scars. Maya could feel her resolve hardening. In failing to see her, her mother dismissed her growth, the strength she had cultivated through years of conflict. Was this the moment she either reclaimed her narrative or lost it forever? At that moment, she recognized something crucial: she was tired of fighting for validation. Instead, Maya leaned forward. "Mom, I'm here not just to reclaim my story but to ask you to acknowledge it. I want you to see me, whatever that means for you. I need you to know me." In her mother's eyes, Maya saw a flicker of hesitation, perhaps a shadow of reflection. Was it genuine, or just the remnants of a facade crumbling? The shift in her mother's demeanor spurred a glimmer of hope within Maya, the prospect of connection hanging tantalizingly in the balance. "Why?" her mother questioned softly now, the steel in her voice wavering. "Because I'm ready to embrace who I am, but I can't do it without your recognition," she replied, emotion thick in her throat. The stakes were immeasurable. If this opened her mother's heart, it could redefine their relationship. If it didn't, would she finally be free to claim herself, regardless of the outcome? A silence enveloped them, thick and heavy. The cafe buzzed around them, oblivious to their personal storm. Each second felt like a lifetime, weighing on Maya like the oppressive clouds outside. It was as if the universe held its breath, waiting to see if this pivotal moment would carve a new path for them, or leave them ensnared in their history. Maya could feel her pulse quicken with what came next. Would her mother's recognition spark a new beginning, or plunge them into the dark corners of the past? The question lingered, a potent reminder of the uncertainty that lay ahead. Just as the answer was about to unfold, an unexpected interruption shattered the silence, drawing them both back into the unpredictable reality of their lives. Maya felt a rush of anxiety as the moment hung in the air, stretching time into an unbearable tautness. Just when she believed she might grasp her mother's attention, the cafe door swung open, a gust of wind carrying in an older man with an umbrella whose chaotic entrance broke the spell. Maya's heart sank momentarily, uncertainty flooding back into the atmosphere. "Excuse me, may I get some coffee?" he asked the barista, oblivious to the seismic shift occurring at the table behind him. Maya turned her focus back to her mother, who seemed momentarily distracted as if someone had hit the pause button on their conversation. Taking a deep breath, Maya centered herself, her determination clear. This was still happening. She would not let external interruptions deter her resolve. She leaned in, eyes locked onto her mother's. "Mom, I'm not here to pass judgment or reopen old wounds. I'm here to reconnect, to share my truth." The shift in her voice brought clarity, rippling through the tension. "I need you to hold space for what I have to say. Can you do that?" Her mother hesitated, as if weighing the importance of the moment against the walls she had erected for so long. "Why should I?" The protective shield slowly started to crack, exposing fragility instead of indifference. "Because it matters to me," Maya answered, pouring her heart into every word. "I cannot fully embrace the woman I am today without confronting our past. All I'm asking for is your acknowledgement. I need you to see me, not the assumptions or judgments, just me." As silence enveloped the table once again, her mother's expression shifted, an awareness flickering across her face like a candle being ignited. Suddenly, Maya glimpsed vulnerability where resolute dismissal used to reign. Could this unguarded moment be the start of something new? With fragile confidence, her mother finally replied, "You were always so different from me. You carried more than I ever knew how to handle." The admission quaked in the air, laden with heavy emotion, but critically, it opened a door. Maya felt her breath catch as she seized this breakthrough. "Mom, I've learned through my struggles that I'm more than your expectations. I fought to build my own identity, one that has no bounds aside from what I impose on myself," Maya replied, her voice firm. "I saw worth in me despite the narrative imposed by my past, and I'm here to assert that still." The tension in the air began to yield, the dam surrounding her mother's heart seeping its barriers little by little. Maya gestured to the surrounding cafe, noting how far removed they were from the turbulent waters of their history. "I'm doing well today not because I took the easy route but because I've transcended the challenges. I want you to see who I've become." For the first time, Maya witnessed her mother's eyes brim with what felt like regret and reflection. "I didn't know you were struggling so much," her mother uttered quietly, her voice barely a whisper. "I thought leaving you alone meant letting you go free." That realization felt like a long-awaited gust of fresh air, filling the room with soft emotional clarity. "But I was never free, Mom. I was battling my demons alone while clinging to the hope for connection." Maya's heart swelled with bittersweet relief. The vulnerability swirling between them shifted the narrative constructively, igniting a momentum she had hoped for. "And going forward, I want to share my current triumphs with you. It doesn't have to be a completed story, just an evolving one between us." Her mother hesitated for a heartbeat, the fight in her faltering gaze dimming. "But will you forgive me for not being the mother you needed?" For a brief moment, Maya was taken aback. The question carried weight, reminiscent of the years she had wrestled with both abandonment and longing. Yet in that moment, forgiveness was a palatable choice. She didn't have to gloss over past pain, but she could choose to welcome the notion of healing. "I think I'm ready to start," Maya answered softly, her voice steady but inviting. "It's time for us to rewrite our story together." Tears glistened in her mother's eyes, not of sorrow, but the beginning of something that felt tangible. Not a burden of ancestral pain but the flicker of hope and possibility. Echoes of their previous struggles drifted away, replaced by a fragile tension of reconciliation. It was a joint journey they could set forth upon. As conversations burgeoned, swirling in tenderness rather than resentment, it became clear they were standing at the threshold of an entirely new chapter. No longer shackled by the burdens of their past, they were crafting a partnership built upon understanding, respect, and growth. Maya's heart swelled as she realized the transformation was palpable, not just within her mother but in her too. She had taken command of her narrative, and it away from doubts that threatened to hold her back. Instead, she acknowledged her strength, which had triumphed in the face of adversity, sparking a journey of healing for both. Engaging in earnest reminiscing, they dug deep into memories, sharing pain and laughter. Tears mingled with smiles. When they finally emerged from the haze of the past into the light of the present, the future seemed brighter, laced with connections unburdened by darkness. Maya had stepped forward to reclaim her identity, advocating for herself and defining her own story, a journey from a girl searching through refuse to a resilient woman claiming her life. With this monumental exchange, she had conquered a lifelong battle, solidifying her position not just in her family's history but in her own narrative, a narrative laden with richness, depth, and a sense of authentic fulfillment. With renewed purpose, she embraced her evolving role, a bridge between the past and the future, carrying with her the understanding that healing was not a destination but a continuous journey marked by resilience, hope, and love. So, as the afternoon light cast a soft glow through the cafe, Maya smiled. Each word transformed into building blocks, crafting partnerships, igniting understanding, and renewing bonds that seemed lost. This was her moment of triumph, and it was just the beginning. Now, reaching out to you, the audience, this is your moment to join the narrative of transformation. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and show your support. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending. Your voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second to share the gift of growth and hope.